There we go. And we're back. This is Alexander, obviously. So, a question. The gentleman that just asked this, I believe it was Hawkins. What do you do if you wasted your 20s and you are in your 30s? So I posted the thread on how to maximize your 20s, which proved to be very, very, very popular with a lot of you and got widely seen. I got a lot of messages from that. But question kept coming up from, what if you're in your 30s and you wasted your 20s? Well, what do I do then? Now, I could say that the advice is similar, where you could swap out 30 for 20 and just go about the steps the same, but it's not. Because if you're in your 30s, your decade of youth, so to speak, it is gone. It has passed you by. So you're in your 30s now, and understand I'm speaking to this from a perspective of, I'm not 30. I'm 28. So this is not my personal experience as so much as what I have seen with clients. I'm basing this off of observation and assessment. This is not, direct life experience I can speak to. If you're in your 30s, it's hard to change. Period. It just is. Every decade that passes by becomes more difficult to reinvent yourself because who you are is more entrenched. That's pretty undeniable. Your flexibility of personality at age 40 is not what it was at 20 or 25 or even 29, you could say. People become more themselves as they age. So if you're in your 30s, what do you do then? You think 30-year-olds is cute. 30 is not old at all, but it's harder because you've been alive longer. When you're 37 versus being 21, I don't think you could argue that you have more possibility to your life at 37 than you do 21. It's 16 years less that you have. So you have to be more serious about what you're doing. So I guess probably the foremost lesson then, or point I can make to those in your 30s, if you're trying to change yourself now, after having wasted your 20s, you have to be serious about it. You have less margin for error. In time, at least, like as I said, in the case of youth, it's not on your side. Your friendships are different. Your body is different. Your frame of perspective is different. You're going to have more bullshit, so to speak, because you waited longer to address it. So if you're 30 whatever now trying to get serious about it, you have to be serious. This is not a period where you can play around and experiment and have fun mindlessly and then expect to get results. It's not going to happen that way. That time period has passed you by. Life is short. I'm not a subscriber to the idea that you have all the time in the world. If you die when you're 45 and it took you till 35 to figure yourself out, you had a decade of good living. God forbid you die younger than that. So, foremost thing to do, you have to get serious about it. Second thing, you need to perform a hard assessment of where you're at. It's financial. What is your definition of waste? Definition of waste means that you have nothing to show for yourself. You have accomplished nothing. If you're 33 and I ask you on paper, hey, what have you done with yourself so far? And you look at me with bright eyes and can't give an answer other than, well, I pay my rent and shoulder shrug. Yeah, you probably wasted your time. People know when they've wasted their time because they'll have a feeling that their time to this point has been largely directionless and purposeless. People that have something to put forth as this is what I've done and accomplished, they can say so pretty readily. When you get asked what you've done and accomplished and you don't have an answer, and the question of it in itself is uncomfortable to you, well, then you probably did waste your time, whether you want to openly say the words or not. So, getting back to it though, seriousness, hard assessment. What does a hard assessment mean? You can perform the audit. You could call it a SWOT analysis if you want to. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your areas of opportunity? What are your finances? Who are your friends? What's your family situation? What's your financial situation on paper? You're going to have to write stuff down, and not just write down as, here are my friends, I make this much money. What are you trying to work from? You need to define your foundations. You need to define what it is that you have built to this point. And maybe it's not much, maybe it is something. But until you do that, well, then you're not going to be able to ascertain a direction to go in. Self-authoring program. Yeah, this is a self-authoring program. I've not done the self-authoring program myself. I have recommended it to a lot of people. Maybe that's a bit critical. But what does Jordan Peterson talk about? Where the 10 worst things are going to happen to you? Where are the 10 best things? What happens right now if you don't change? What am I speaking to right now? The self-audit with the hard assessment. Where are you at in life right now, area by area by area by area by area? Go down and analyze all of those things. All of them. In detail. In hard detail. If you avoid them, well, then it's another area of your life that is going to be unaddressed. As I said earlier, the problems The problems that get created from your life are often things that you ignore, or the areas that you lack self-control in. If you're in your 30s, you probably lack discipline in some areas. You probably lack, you probably lack attention in others. You probably lack this for the sake of not having done focus on what you need to be doing. So you're getting serious. You're going to analyze your life, and then you're going to have to ascertain some kind of direction. Now, it might be at the age that you're at that you are able to deduce from this analysis a mission that you want to dedicate yourself to, and then you start working backwards from there. You figure out what your mission is in life, and that's a big question to answer. I can't do that for you. What's my mission? What's my purpose? I don't know. That's for you to figure out. Again, hard analysis. You have to take yourself apart a bit and put yourself back together. But you could start with mission and purpose, and then work through. All right, well, here's my mission, here's my purpose. What is my identity I'm going to construct from this point on? What are the actions and beliefs that go with that identity? What's my environment? Who are my friends? What is my health right now? And you go sort of from an internal to external direction. You go from internal, external momentum, sense of order. Or you can go external, to internal, and you can start more basic and say, maybe I don't know what my mission is right now, but let me get my, as I speak of often, health in order and start with that. Solving for your health tends to solve for love other areas of your life because it reveals to you all the things that you ignore and the things that you do not put proper attention to. You get your health in order, you get your body weight in order, you get your body comp in order. You get your physicality in order. That carries over to your environment. Environment, obviously, influences your state of health. Your state of health influences your environment. You go through the environment, you go through your social circle, and then you keep proceeding. And then perhaps, as you go through these steps, if you followed the self-improvement thread I posted, health, environment, social circle, beliefs, identity, mission, you get to that point where you know now, I believe I have something that I know I should be doing. So, you travel down through that, you end up at the mission. Or you can start the mission and travel back up. Which one is going to be suitable? That depends upon you. That's a situation of personality. Hi, Alexander. Hello, JR. What? JR or is it Rollins? What's up, Rollins? So, you go inside to outside. You go outside to inside. As I said, personality, situation personality, what is most suitable for you? I think if you generally have your life in order, at least externally, where perhaps you have a job or career, you have your health, and you've taken care of it, you have decent friends, it should not be so difficult to ascertain a larger mission for yourself and start working on it. If you don't have any of those things, well, then you're going to have to start, from square one, which is the body of it in itself. So, that would be my suggestion. I should probably put this into a thread of some kind. Any questions at all, guys? Otherwise, I'm just going to keep tangenting. I don't think, as I said, I don't think 30s is old. You're not old in your 30s, but you're at a point where you're not a young kid anymore. You can waste your time in your 20s, and people generally will not be too judgmental of it. At a certain point, you're expected to get serious. But you can be 25, 26, 27, and you can be having fun, you can act immature, and it's understandable in a certain fashion. When you're 34 and you're still fucking around like you're 24, that's not admirable. At that point, no one's going to tell you that, oh, you're just trying to figure yourself out. They're going to tell you that you need to get your shit together. You're welcome. I've ignored the vast majority of all the comments, so. Is 24 old? No, 24 is not old. Age is real biologically, but it is something of a state of mind. What most people assign as feeling old is the idea that you've given up and that your life can no longer change. That's old, quote unquote. Does your body get older? Yes, absolutely. Does your body change as you get older? Yes, absolutely. Does it become harder to change as you get older? In terms chronologically? Yes, absolutely. But you can still have the attitude and mindset. Yes, it is a mindset. You can still have the attitude and mindset of possibility. Which essentially is what is youth? What does it mean to be youthful? When you're youthful, you have energy. You want to explore. You're curious. You want to take on challenge. You want to go out and see the world. You want to create yourself. That's what it means to be youthful. You can be maturely youthful, so to speak, at any age. Just getting started. Good for you, man. Is 27 too old to still bang college chicks? Well, considering most 27-year-olds are probably still in college, or at least a lot of them are, I guess not. I mean, that's kind of a question of your maturity and what kind of woman you're looking for. Kids are older these days. Kids are older in the sensibility that there is less time to waste in the modern age than perhaps in ages past, simply because it's highly competitive now, and the faster you can get ahead, the better off you're going to be in the long term. How do you know that you wasted your 20s? I covered that before. If you wasted your 20s, you'll hit a point at 30 or 31 or whatever is 30 plus where you feel like you haven't done anything with your life. That simple. Why do women love alpha males? Well, it's for the fact that from a combination of genetics, status, and generally being able to provide on better genetic lineage, alpha males went out. Is 43 too old to go to parties? Are they grown-up parties? Adults still like to party. Everyone likes to party at any age, I think. I don't think that changes. The content and subject matter of the party certainly do, though. They're more sophisticated because of technology, but seem more helpless. True. A lot of 20, well, that's adulting, is the phenomenon. A lot of 20-somethings today are essentially just teenagers and never really get past that, frame of mind. They never get past the teenage mindset. Questions. Top actionable books you wish you read in your 20s to help accelerate your life. I've been talking a lot about finances. I think for a lot of 20-year-olds, they just completely fuck themselves over with that. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a good book to start with. Very, very good book. I Will Teach You to Be Rich. Ramit Sethi, excellent book. And that's very, very practical as well. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is more about mindset and mentality. If you're looking for something as a young person to just literally, how do I get my fucking money in order? I Will Teach You to Be Rich is the absolute best. At what age should I... Well, ask the question again about money. I totally missed that one. Strength training first or hypertrophy. Those are not mutually exclusive at all. I've told you guys that before. Strength and hypertrophy are not separate domains. They are the same thing. It just depends on what you want to specialize in. Women like alpha males because Western culture trains them to think they need men to be happy. Women do need men to be happy. Women that don't reproduce and don't have a family and leave nothing of themselves are generally very unhappy and bitter. Same for men. So that's not Western culture. That's biological reality of the universe. I wasted my 20s with depression. Well, you know that now, so you can begin to change it. So good for you. I'm not of the mentality that wasted time is worthless time. It just was wasted time. There's still something to be derived from it. Meaning can be found in everything. Is Conor McGregor an alpha or insecure? I would define him as an alpha, relative to this level of personality. How old are you? 28. Yes, I disagree. I generally think men and women need each other. Yes, men and women do need each other. Again, two sides of the same coin. There is always polarity in all things in the universe. You cannot separate one half from the other and say that they are separate unto themselves. You look like you back from the 80s. Throwback look. I look like how I look like. We're at the question stage, people. So if you're just hopping on now, watch it from the beginning. You look like Tarzan. All right. Chest hair. Yes, I do have chest hair. People are always fascinated by chest hair for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Tarzan's cute. Thank you. Is reality bendable? Yes. You're beautiful, though. Thank you for the compliment. Reality is bendable just because reality is an exertion of will. Do women chase you? I will say that I have never had... I will say that women are not an issue I struggle with as a man in regards to attracting women nor interacting with them. Henceforth, why I really generally don't speak on the subject. It's not something that I have a lot to offer on. I would chase you with long hair, not short. Short hair is not my thing. I have had short hair before. It does not suit my personality. Do older women chase you? Yes. Kind of all ages do. What do you think about marriage? I think marriage is very necessary if you want to have a good life. I don't know that it's necessary for everybody, but I would find it incomplete as a human being if you go through life and you do not share the experience nor attempt to raise children with somebody. Marriage is not about being happy with somebody. It is, but it's not. Marriage, the union of marriage, the concept thereof, You have children, and you continue on yourself. So, why do we have children? Because we can put something better out into the world. How do we have children? Well, we pair bond with somebody, and then we raise them, and we communicate with that person, we cooperate, and we learn about ourselves, and we try to take out the best parts of ourselves and put into somebody, put into a living being. Yeah, that's what marriage is for. Marriage is for the kids. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be happy in a marriage, but the mythology, so to speak, of modern life, that marriage is supposed to make you happy, not really. Is law of attraction real? Yes, it is. You will, whether you view that as esoteric or pragmatic or quantum physics, the energy that you put out unto people, unto others, it will draw in similar energy. So you can imagine if you're highly negative as an individual, expecting success in anything is probably very, very, very delusional. It doesn't generally work that way. Good shit, Black Jesus. You're welcome. I like to visualize everything. Visualization is a very useful tool. Very, very, very useful. It's a way to program yourself. Are you afraid of death? No. No. If you're living life the way you want to live life and to your satisfaction, I don't believe you should be afraid of dying. You should not want to die, but you should not fear it. Any more questions, people? Why are you not afraid of death? Because I'm living life how I want to live it. What are your spiritual religious beliefs? I'm Jewish. Anything else, folks? Yes, no, maybe so. Dude, you look handsome, no homo. None taken. And thank you. How are you so successful? What's your macros look like? I don't answer the macros question, guys. What my macros are do not matter. Is relative. Your macros are relative to you. What motivates you, and how do you keep it up? Is human life determined? Have you tried LSD? What about crystal healing? Views on? Okay, Jesus Christ, that was a lot at once. What keeps me determined? What keeps me determined is the fact that I'm living my life how I want, and I know what my aims are, and I have clearly delineated goals and expectations and plans, and henceforth, motivation is kind of something of a, how should I say, like a whirling dervish. I don't lack for motivation because I'm doing what I want to do and it's working. What inspired you to discourse on this topic? I was simply asked the question, if you're in your 30s, what do you do? What do Jews do differently to others? Good question. Jews, culturally speaking, I could say religiously as well, but religiously, culturally, Jews have a mindset of success. Jews are very action-oriented. Jews are very numerically oriented, both money and grade-wise. Jews are very pragmatic, practical. Jews look out for themselves. Jews have very high IQs. That is very true. Ashkenazi Jews have the highest IQ of, I think, any ethnicity, actually. Yes, I'm Ashkenazi. And when you combine the factor of being, goal-driven, coming from an intelligent, grounded culture, being results-minded, being a long-term planner, being pragmatic, it makes for a successful individual. I would recommend a normal t-shirt and haircut. I would never get a haircut, and this chest here is fucking dominating. That's why it bothers you. Do you believe in God? Yes. Yes, I do. Jews also make sure you finish school. Absolutely. Jews are very education-oriented. Jews are very meritocratic. If you're going to do good, you have to be good. I probably missed some questions with that, but oh well. That was like a dozen in a row. Are Jews destroying the West? No, the West is destroying itself. You can blame no one singular group for a culture of decay. Do you like country music? I actually do like some country music. Have you had yours tested? IQ? No, I have not had it tested. Number one advice for kids in college right now. Plan ahead. Plan ahead. I'm only going to answer the valuable questions on this. If you're in college right now, you need to be planning ahead. I posted about this. You need to be planning what your job's going to be. You need to be making connections. You need to be showing up to trade shows. You need to be getting the credentials. You need to be making the social network that you'll probably need. You need to have a series of backup plans, for when you graduate. Don't graduate and then just wait for shit to happen, which is a lot of people. How do you not waste your 20s? You plan and you be productive. Wasting your 20s is a matter of focusing on the wrong areas. Top 3 skills to learn at 20. Public speaking. foremost, writing, and interpersonal communication. Those are, you can switch the order of that if you want to, but if you can speak in front of people, if you can address people face to face, talk to them one-on-one, if you can write well, that will carry over to literally any job you ever have. Even if it's a highly technical one where you're in front of a computer doing code and you speak to other human beings, someone's going to have to be the project manager, someone's going to have to be in charge of those people. Are you in Hurricane Irma right now? No. I wasted my 20s on cream pies and magic mushrooms. That's a hell of a sentence. What do you think of Tim Ferriss? I like Tim Ferriss. He's a good guy and he puts out a lot of useful information. Don't graduate and wait for something to happen. Yes. Yeah, the big problem with graduation, guys, you know, I graduated from college. I've had a lot of friends graduate from college. I'm a college graduate. Big fucking deal. People graduate and their whole mode of being was focused upon getting the degree, that the actual, what came next, you know, future, you know, self, that was never really evaluated or looked at. Now, maybe you're going to graduate school and you are planning ahead, but for those of you who are not, or even for the people that went to graduate school and got a PhD, I have very successful friends in very many domains. They get their PhD. Fuck, look at this piece of paper. I'm a doctor. Now what? Do I go just back into academia to do the research? What do I do? You have to have long-term planning. I know that's, I keep repeating that. It sounds redundant. But if you do not think ahead 2, 5, 10 years, you're going to hit points in time when you're just completely lost as to what to do, even if you are relatively successful by other people's assessment. Burt Reynolds is crying somewhere. He's crying tears of fucking joy. That's what he's crying. Job to get good at sales. Anything where you're selling something, honestly. Yeah, I would suggest big ticket items. I mean, starting off selling phone. Start off, go work for Apple and sell the fucking iPhone. That's $1,000 right there. What's your current occupation? I write, I train, I work online. I want to box on Showtime, I visualize it. If you are a good boxer and you're visualizing that, it will come to fruition. That's a good goal. It's aspirational, it's a big one, it's a good goal. No point in thinking small. Everyone already does that enough already. Waiting on questions, people. Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson. I'm partial to Mike Tyson. What made you start ballet? I got to be around women, and it was beautiful, and it was very, very hard, and it's extremely detail-oriented, and it requires perfection, and you can never, ever, ever be perfect at it. So it's a good metaphor for life. How do you know that you're Ashkenazi? Because my mother is Ashkenazi, and her mother was Ashkenazi, and her mother, and her mother, and her mother, and her mother, going back many, many, many generations. How do you evaluate yourself? You ask yourself hard questions. That's not hard. Who am I? What am I about? Where am I going? What am I working on? Where are my strengths? Where are my weaknesses? What can I improve? Why am I a piece of shit? Self-analysis is just questions, people. It's being able to ask yourself questions and answering them honestly. Do you bang a lot of chicks? God, you fucking guys. Yes, I have sex with women to my satisfaction. Absolutely. Why do a lot of successful figures use drugs? Expansion of mindset. How do you get to the top 1%? Read every day, write every day, train in something every day, pursue excellence in all things. That's a simple formula. Easier said than done, but get it done. As I get older, my body cannot do what it could do when I was 20. How to deal with it? You have to compensate. You have to compensate. You have to take better care of yourself. As I said, biological aging is a reality. You can be young mentally, you're still going to be old physically. Is making $1 billion realistic? Yeah, of course it is. People have done it. If men have done it, you can do it. Top 3 vitamins to take at 20? There's no top 3 vitamins. It's just eat whole foods, exercise, drink water. Yeah, I could say, vitamin D, magnesium, but that's, somewhat of a side point. When you're 20 years old, you need to establish good health habits, not focus on vitamins. Yeah, you're putting the, I should say, you're majoring in the minor. Can you fix bowed legs? No, that's structural. You can't change the shape of bone. How much to take of zinc? If I remember, 25 to 50 milligrams a day? I think 25 milligrams a day, something like that. Just look it up, dude. Google that. What is my environment right now? I have a line picture, I have a Joker picture, I have a picture of a beautiful woman. That suits the trifecta of my being. How much Mike Muller recovery oil do you use? About, what? Yeah, 4 to 10 sprays, every other day. Are you black? No, I'm not black. I'm Jewish and Mexican. Wasted your 20s? That sounds depressing. I'm 22. Well, then you shouldn't be wasting your 20s then if you're 22. Be using the time. ZMA with theanine is a great nighttime supplement for recovery. Yeah, ZMA works really well, so does theanine. So that that has my endorsement, so to speak. Good to mention it. Good on you for mentioning it. I'm sorry you're old. Okay. I'm not really sure what you're saying sorry for, but whatever. How does a Jew and a Mexican come together? My parents met in the gym. Why is your 20s so important? Because it's the formative decade upon which you will build your entire life. And if you spend 10 years wasting the prime years of your health, energy, and ability to change yourself, you wasted your time. What should be your biggest concern if you're 21? Working hard on something and getting better at what you're doing. Where do you live? California. Pot smoking, I do not endorse it. Yeah, if you smoke pot and you're extremely productive regardless of the fact, and it helps you maintain your cognitive focus and balance and all that, awesome. But the reality is that many, 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 many people smoke pot and they turn to lazy sacks of shit. And then they keep doing it and their whole mode of being becomes upon getting high. So, do you day game? I don't run game, guys. I meet women as I choose to meet women. Exactly. I'm not really sure what the exactly is in response to, but exactly. How to act, move forward without regret. You're always going to have things you regret. You can't change that. You have to make the regret meaningful. So master a useful skill in 20s, lift and read. Master useful skills. Useful skills, multiple. Do you have a Tinder to meet women? No, I don't. I prefer to meet women in person. I'm not a... I don't denigrate meeting women through social media, but there's a whole schema to that I find tiresome. I'd rather go out and meet women in real life, face to face. It's a lot more satisfactory, and you actually get to make a connection. Is your back hairy? No, it's not. No, just chest hair, guys. Yeah. Again, chest hair fascination. You look like the Joker. I'll take that as a compliment. How tall are you? You look tall. I'm 6'2". Any recommended books? Books on what? That depends upon the subject matter. Tips for the cliche and motivated 20-year-old. I really don't have any tips. If someone is completely unmotivated, you're gonna have to hit a point in time at which you decide: do I want to continue living a life of nothingness, or do I do something with myself? Typically speaking, for a lot of people in their 20s, where they're just, they're not doing anything. Book on sales, Influenced by Cialdini. When you're in your 20s, you're not doing anything, and you keep on going through that, oftentimes you'll hit the point in your late 20s where you realize, like, fuck, I've done nothing with myself, and maybe then you change. Or perhaps you meet somebody or you encounter yourself in a situation, and then you realize that you want to do something with yourself because you have a catalyst. So, finding a catalyst, though, that can be, a search. There's no right answer to that. Have you read Blood Meridian? Yes, Blood Meridian is an excellent book. If you want a good read on if you want a good read on the nihilism of existence and sort of the brutality and savagery of what nature and life can be, read that book. Should I eat sugar? You can eat sugar. It depends on a question of how much. Is the keto diet good? It can be. It depends on how it's applied. Have you ever read Mein Kampf? Yes, an excellent, excellent book, actually. Very good book on persuasion, believe it or not. How to avoid video games and porn. It's a waste of fucking time. Video games and porn are wastes of time. Absolute wastes of time. I don't play video games. I'm really not a porn watcher. What's the book called? Influence. Cialdini. Robert Cialdini. Influence. Watch it. Ah, God damn that cat. Or did I say watch it? Read it. Thoughts on muscle ups? There's something of a trick movement. You have to have the chin up and dip strength to be able to do them. How many cups of coffee have you had? Today, I've had 3. You think I'm on the right path if I've made it $100,000 at the age of 24? Yeah, absolutely. If you're making money at 24 and making good money, You're doing something right. How many words per minute do you read? I'm not sure. Honestly, I naturally speed read. I read really fast just by default, but I've never actually measured the word count per minute. How to interact with my mom if she's negative drained? You have to set boundaries with your mom. You have to set boundaries, and you have to, I don't want to say dictate, but you have to set terms and conditions of your conversations. Talking and interacting with family members who are negative, profoundly negative, where they just drain you of energy, like you said, that comes down to the boundaries you set for yourself and maintaining them. Weights and then cardio, or vice versa. That depends on how you're lifting. Depends upon how you're lifting weights and how you're doing the cardio. How much do you sleep a day? 8 hours a night. 7 to 8 hours. We're at the 30-minute mark. Let's go with we'll go 5 more minutes, people, and call it there. How old are you? 28. Thoughts on Jordan B. Peterson. Jordan B. Peterson is the grandfather that pretty much the entire generation of Western society never had. I love Jordan Peterson. I would take a bullet in the heart for Jordan Peterson. What do you do for work? I write. I'm a personal trainer. I have an online business coaching. Online coaching, I guess you'd say that. Thoughts on 100 kettlebell swings every morning, if you want to. How much money should I spend on alcohol per week? Ideally 0 or as little as possible. Books on social media, online marketing. Jesus. Robert Cialdini, Influence, as I said. Persuasion is an excellent book. What else? Launch by Jeff Walker is a very good book. I'm trying to think of what good marketing books I've read. What else on marketing? Nothing powerful is coming to mind. Are you a millionaire yet? No. Is mastering daily normal? Yes. Masturbation is pretty normal. Just seems today that a lot of people do way, way, way too much of it. Is Trump a low-key racist? No. 5 to 10 minutes that run, then bench press okay? Yes. 28 liar, you about 38, sir. Whatever you want to believe. Strong words in your article about depression. Well done. Thank you. Is running good? Yeah, you should be able to run. As to how far and how much and how fast, that depends upon really just your body type. Some people are better suited for running than others. How much would you recommend per day as far as masturbation? Gee, guys, what is it with masturbation with you guys? Jesus. Maybe once, twice a day is normal. I mean, if it's dominating your life, like, fuck, you got some personal issues to sort out. I'm not really sure how fapping became such a cultural touchstone. Yes, it's every animal, almost every mammal masturbates. Humans seem to be the only ones that have this goddamn obsession with it, where it takes over their life. Best weightlifting routine for beginners. My 4 Corners Foundations program. How do you feel about genetic inequality? Reality of existence. Nothing is equal in life. Thoughts on sprint triathlons. If you want to do them, that's entirely a personal choice. Is it bad if I snort through both nostrils at the same time? Only if you feel embarrassed. What is your long-term goal? Long-term what? Life aim? That I keep to myself. People will discover that for themselves as I get older. Why do you have so much wrinkles at 28? I have lived a hard life. That's what happens. When you love a lot, it has effects upon you. How old? How old am I? As I've said for I think the 9th time in this podcast, Periscope, 28 people. Thanks for the live Q&A, much appreciated. You're very welcome. Do you believe in God? Yes. Are you a millionaire yet? No. Silly questions. How to deal with social liberals who hate conservatives. Learn how to speak and enunciate and have elocution. When do you wake up? Usually about 7, 8 a.m. I work late into the night, so maybe you should work smarter, not harder. Maybe you should do both. You work harder to learn how to work smarter so you can work harder. That is a positive feedback loop. Thoughts on BCAAs and creatine? BCAAs are kind of worthless. Creatine is highly effective and extremely proven. I don't generally recommend BCAAs unless it's maybe a fasted training situation. So, but yeah, creatine I recommend pretty much for everybody. If you're training, you can take creatine. Work. Go back and watch from the beginning. I've answered that 3 times already. Is automation going to destroy the workforce? No. Workforce will evolve. My brother's 25. How do I motivate him? Put him in situations that challenge him and see what that does. But, I mean, if he's truly demotivated and wants to do nothing, Not a lot you can do. How much water should I drink? At least a half your body weight in ounces daily. What's the best creatine? Creatine monohydrate is the best. I don't agree on what you're saying. I don't care if you don't agree because you're listening, so I have the power here. Did you kill that lion by hand in that picture just to put his mane on your chest? No, I was gifted this mane by the gods, so. Is sparkling water bad for you? No, sparkling water is not bad for you. Any more questions? I'll take anything else that's good, I'll answer. Otherwise, it's the last one. How much IQ is genetic? IQ is almost entirely genetic. The parts of it that are not are, it's a small percentage. How long to grow the mane? This, about 1.5 years. You're very welcome. I wash my hair maybe twice a week. Welcome, 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 welcome. Tattoos, I have 5. I'm not going to go through what tattoos I have. Who's your most influential life coach? I don't believe in life coaches. In terms of people that have influenced me, that have been notable, Mike Cernovich, Jordan B. Peterson as of late. I'd say James Altucher as well. So, those 3 guys. Go with those 3. And I'm not sure what you're laughing at. Shadow Men is a good book. Yes, Shadow Men is a very good book. Nationality, Jewish and Mexican. Is it worth getting IQ tested? I really don't think so, unless you just really want to know. Is cardio more important than lifting weights? No. Lean body mass precedes cardio. Plus, you can get the effects of cardiovascular training from how you lift. Philosopher you read? A lot of them. That would be insubstantial to try to answer that. Is that your line behind you? Yes, it is. All right, people. I'm calling this there. Good questions. This was a lot of people. 100 plus. Talk again soon. Do good work. Jung, I love Jung. Read Jung. And I'll talk to you all again. Adios.